You spoke about Kenya, another critical market. Now, obviously, there's been some concern that the government might impose a floor on tariffs, in a sense, not allowing operators to bring down tariffs beyond that floor. What are you picking up from the market? Would such a move happen, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard the rumors. I'm sure government will take a customer-friendly decision because I think all of us work for the customer. So let's wait.
But what about that market? Because again, even in Kenya, you've got a very strong number one player. The gap between the number one player and you is pretty big. Not MTN, if that helps. But how do you see that market developing?
Kenya is a very good market. It's a very robust market. Over 40 million customers, growing economy, democratic country. Safaricom, which is the leader, is a good company. It has made a good business model. Not only it has done a good job in mobile, it's also done a good job in M-Pesa, which is the M-commerce service. So we have a tough job in Kenya, and we are ready for it. We are ready for a long haul in Kenya.
So which one do you think is a tougher market, Nigeria or Kenya?
Nigeria, definitely.
Okay, now if you were to pick 5 markets, because while you are present in 15, 16 markets, if you were to pick 5 markets that you believe are key to Bharti's turnaround in Africa, what would those 5 markets be?
Nigeria, number 1. DRC, which is Democratic Republic of Congo, number 2. Tanzania, Ghana, Kenya.
Okay, these would be the 5 turnaround markets. You're present right now in 16 markets, and there is a sense that you want to expand beyond that 16 as well to get a wider footprint in Africa. What's the strategy there?
Well, Africa has a lot of attractive markets, but we believe that our first job is to get these 16 markets into good health, achieve healthy margins, and only after that we should look beyond 16. We are not in a hurry. We have taken a long-term bet on Africa. Like in India, it took us 15 years to reach where we are today. In Africa, I think we have a plan for next decade, and I don't think we should really move ahead faster than our capabilities can allow us. Also, in the present 16 markets, we need to do a major 3G HSPA launch in 10 markets out of 16. We are planning to do M-commerce in all the 16 markets, and of course we are building TowerCo in all markets. So it's not only about present operations and present performance, it's also about these 3 big projects which we are launching. So we first would like to dig our heels deeper in these 16 markets.
But if and when you were to look to expand, I'm assuming it will probably be through the acquisition route, or would you look at a greenfield route, because that probably will not.
We prefer acquisition over greenfield.
Do you see target companies that you may want to acquire, maybe not now but at a later stage? Do you see that in some markets?
We are really not much very interested today to look at outside 16.
But outside of the 16, what are the markets that you think
I'm sure there
ideally like to have a presence?
I'm sure there are opportunities. I'm sure there are opportunities of markets. I'm sure there are opportunities of operators ready to sell. But today we are interested to focus on present markets.
But would you have an idea what markets you would like to get into at some point, or is it too premature?
There are many markets, but it's premature.
So in a best case scenario, 5 years from now, do you see Bharti being present in about 20-25 markets? Do you see that happen?
Can't give a number. But I think if we are able to achieve the goals of 2013, then maybe after that we'll definitely look at some other markets.
Okay, you spoke about 3G, and we've seen 3G roll out here in India. 3G likely to run about 10 out of 16 markets. What kind of an impact do you see 3G have? Because obviously one is not very sure if consumers in Africa will spend a huge amount of money on data. Do you see that? Do you see data revenues pick up?
You'll be surprised. That's where the consumer behavior is different from India. I think India, the speaking habit is higher. I think Indians tend to speak more. I think Africans, on the other hand, they speak, but I think they will utilize a lot of data. I feel that's a difference. Fortunately, it's a youth population, and youth love internet, browsing internet, downloading, etc., etc. So I believe that in these 10 countries, we would like to really go deep in 3G, attract youth, professionals, SMBs to our network, and give them more content, more excitement, etc. Like Manchester United, we have signed, so a lot of content will go. The football Africans love. So I think Africa will consume huge amount of data. Our initial experience in Ghana, for example, has been extremely positive. Ghana's data usage is very, very high.
But would you have an idea of how much you'd be investing for a 3G rollout across Africa?
Vis-a-vis 2G, it will be much less initially.
Okay.
Because first we need to get
but
the
have
2G
you
ready.
earmarked a certain amount of money for that?
I think it's quite small today vis-a-vis 2G. Because first we need to get the 2G.
It'll be a part of your $1.2 billion case.
Yes, it's part of 1.2. But 2G will take away a lot of investment in the first 1 or maybe 2 years.
Right. I'm also wondering if you think at some point you'd look at refinancing some of the loans that you took for the Zen acquisition. Has that thought come about in the company?
No, we as we said in the last quarterly, we have already paid back few I think about $400 million. So today there is no plan for refinancing.
Okay, there is no plan as of now to refinance. Would you look at listing some of these entities in any of the markets at any point to raise equity? That's again
there is no plan for listing.
Okay. Now I want to talk a bit about the employees from Bharti India who moved to Africa and how the journey has been for them. How tough has it been, this whole transition from India to Africa for you personally, and even for the 100-odd executives that went with you?
No, I think it's been a great opportunity for our India colleagues to get a global exposure of 16 countries, and as you said, very different exposure. And there are about 80 to 100 Indian employees there in various countries. 50% of this is our short-term employees, which means that they could be there from 6 to 9 to maybe 12 months, so they are gone for a specific project. And about 50-60 are more permanent, which is 3 years. And after 3 years, we'll see if they want to continue, we'll continue. Otherwise, they'll come back. Some other colleagues will go there. I have talked to all of them. I think their experiences are very, very high quality. They believe that they've learned so much more. They believe that they've unlearned a lot, because success sometimes in India makes you feel that you know everything about telecom. Actually, you don't know. You need to learn much more, and that's specifically applying to me. I mean, I went with a learning objective. I'm learning every day. I mean, I'm so lucky. After 32 years of experience, if I'm learning every day, I think it's a great news. And learning new consumer behavior, dealer behavior, employees' culture, traits, and way of working, government's attitudes, all that is fantastic learning. And personally, I'm really very, very delighted to be there. I think it's very, very sense of pride that we are building an Indian corporation into a global corporation.
You spoke about the 3-year period for which most executives have gone, and I remember speaking with you even before you left, and you'd indicated that you're going to be there for 3 years at least. You're 1 year down. What are you thinking? 2 years later, you're back in India, or do you think you'd want to be there for longer?
No, I'm in Africa now. I'm not thinking anything else. I think the experience is so high quality. The opportunity of building Airtel in a new continent itself gives you such a high, you know. And I'm very, very committed to building Airtel globally.
But once you meet the goals that you set for yourself, the 2013 goals, would you want to continue from there on, or would you like to?
No, we have to build a global corporation. We have to build a global brand. We have to build a global leadership pipeline. Those are the goals we have taken. And I think those are very important goals which American companies took, European companies, Japanese companies. Why not Indian companies? Indian companies should become a global corporation, and that's what Airtel is doing.
You can help Airtel be a global corporation even being in India. I'm just trying to find out if you have, if you have an idea of how long you'd personally be in Africa, or do you think it's too early?
Those decisions will be taken at the right time. I think we'll cross the bridge at that time. But today we are fully committed and dedicated to the goals we have taken.
Do you miss home? Do you miss family?
They come and be with me many times. They also love Africa.
But it must be tough for you personally. You spent a large part of your professional life here in India, living in cities like Delhi. Nairobi is a fantastic city, I'm sure. But it must be tough for you personally as well.
It's not tough. I think it's exciting. It's very exciting. One of the personal goals I had taken when I went to Africa was that I should be fitter. So I'm fitter. I jog an hour every morning. I work out. I'm feeling fitter than what I was 1 year back.
Are you feeling
so Africa is helping me.
Are you feeling happier than you were 1 year back?
I'm happy.
Okay. My final question before we end this interview. I remember before leaving, I asked you if you've honed your French skills, and you spoke very eloquently in French. I'm wondering if you've got people in Africa to learn some Punjabi now.
Yeah, some Punjabi, some Hindi.
Okay.
And pardonne mo nemo France ne patremo.
I still don't know
So
what
I
that
am
means
also
now.
learning more French. But when I go to Francophone, we have 7 Francophone countries. When I go to these countries, I speak a bit of French and I speak very slow English. Because you need to, because those guys, the people there have complaints that Indians speak too fast. So we speak very slowly so that they understand, and then at the end of every sentence we check if you have understood exactly the meaning of what I said, and it is working out very well. I think the countries in Francophone are doing very well.
Manoj Kohli, you may speak slowly, but don't not be the man in a hurry that you've always been. I wish you the very best of luck for the African safari and hope to catch up with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.